Hey, Alan Barnowski here with a lesson for Acoustic Guitar Magazine. This is the fiddle tune called Leather Britches. It's a lot of fun to play. It's one of my favorite tunes, so I hope you enjoy it. I will be playing this at a much slower speed at the end of the video, so you know you can find that there in case there's certain sections you need to workshop a little bit or something like that. Um, but there's two things I'd like to talk about that I think are going to be really helpful for not only learning this tune, but kind of helping it shine, kind of turning it into something special. And those two things are going to be letting notes ring out, open strings mostly. So having open ringing strings. The other thing is the idea of a rhythmic pulse. Both of these, I think, really kind of make this tune stand out, and also can be applied to other tunes as well. So I hope you get something out of this. So yeah, so the idea of ringing strings. This is the first one. What I love about this arrangement of this tune is that it takes the melody and applies it in the A part over the four inside strings, so between the A string and the B string. Most of that's actually on three strings, the D, the G, and the B, but a little bit does go down to the fifth string. So because the melody is spread out across these four different strings, there's a lot of opportunity to have overlapping notes. So I'm just going to demonstrate what I mean by this. Take a listen. Notice how there's not that much fretting going on, and how I'm allowing these open strings to continue to ring out even though I am doing some fretting. So check it out. And they're still ringing. So yeah, that's really, I think, what's kind of special about this A part. A few thoughts about that. One is I'm keeping the left hand relaxed. I'm not really muting adjacent strings when I am fretting, so I'm just letting things ring out. And then also something that I like to do is when I fret, I also like to kind of release those a little bit quicker. The ringing strings gives a lot of space and sustain. So that's great. As guitarists, a lot of times we struggle with that, especially with acoustic guitar. However, lifting up quickly on these fretted notes also gives a little bit of a bounce, which the sustained strings don't really have that bounce. So I do like to kind of pull up on those. Here's what I mean. Hopefully it comes through when I play it this time. So yeah, when I'm fretting here and also here, and also on this last line, I'm kind of pulling those notes up a little bit quicker. Pulling up meaning I'm lifting my fingers up a little bit quicker. So as we move on into the B part, there are still some good examples of letting strings ring out. The first little passage in the B is that thing. And you see we go from the first position up to the fifth position, and I'm bridging that jump up to the fifth position with this open E string. So yeah. So that really kind of helps. You could fret it here. You could go. But then there's this audible gap as you shift positions. I don't like that gap. I like to smooth that out using this open string. And then you also have the open string going as you play the F sharp and the G. So that's the 7th and 8th fret on the second string. Yeah, so far we've been talking about open strings, having open strings sustaining, but it doesn't always have to be open strings. Here's in the next little section, I'm fretting at that 8th note with my pinky and playing the next higher string. And this pinky is still down, the note is still ringing, and I keep it ringing throughout. So yeah, that B section is like this. So even though we're really, at this point, mostly just working on 2 strings, there's still opportunities to have some sustain going on as you're crossing over different strings. So yeah, so that's my speech on that. The next thing is the idea of a rhythmic pulse. And by a rhythmic pulse, I mean emphasizing either beats 1 and 3 or beats 2 and 4. So in the A section, I personally like to emphasize beats 1 and 3, and it sounds kind of like this. So I'm really kind of making those stick out. I'm doing it a bit more exaggerated than I normally would if I was playing the tune, but that's the 1 and the 3s. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I mean by the 1s and the 3s. Those are the beats that I'm emphasizing. You can also do 2s and 4s, play around with it. 2s and 4s on this tune is very cool. It's a little bit harder to execute, I think, in the A part, but it can be done. I mean, you honestly should be able to do it anywhere. That's the ideal situation. So anyway, in the B part, I like to do 1s and 3s for much of the B part. So it sounds like this. So again, that's 1s and 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the last little bit, I like to switch to 2s and 4s. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's... We got again. Yeah, that's the idea. I'll play that whole thing through. Hopefully you can hear that shift from the 1 and 3 to 2s and 4s. So yeah, there it is. Both of these, having the open ringing strings and the pulsing 1s and 3s, 2s and 4s, these are kind of more advanced ideas. So it may, take a good while for you to get used to these and having them really kind of come out in your playing. But it can really change a tune, and it can really help a tune for the better. So I hope you get something out of that part. So as promised, I'm going to play through this now with the metronome, much slower. I'm just going to set the metronome, so I'll be doing that real quick. And yeah, so I'll be doing this at 70 BPM. And this is going to close out the video. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck with this tune.